we'll touch upon now is your feelings. Because, dear one, each and every one of you are simply doing one of two things. You have the life you say you want. And you have the life that you're living right now, which is the life that you want. The life that you say you want, each and every one of you, looks quite different than the life you are having now, which is why you have chosen to do this work. The only way in which you can change and move into a new life, if you understand and know how you created this life. So there is a life that you say you want. And in order to have that life, it is important now, dear ones, that you feel all of your feelings. You see, dear ones, you're only doing one of two things. You're either living the life you say you want, having the life you say you want, or avoiding the feelings that come up, that if in fact you allowed yourself to feel your feelings, you would have the life you say you want. An example of that, dear ones, is that now I choose to live my passion. I am a musician. But I am now living a life of safety and security that I fully think I'm in control of, that it brings me from outside of myself the financial means to survive life. But my passion is being a life as a musician. Notice we said, dear one, being the life of your passion. There is a belief system around that that says, if in fact I choose to live my passion, that when I picture that raises my resonance and vibration. There is a conditioned belief system that you must be safe and secure and think you are in control of everything so you can survive life. It brings up feelings inside of you that come up if you picture leaving the old life of safety and security and struggling to survive life, knowing that your income is coming in and you're sustaining life, but living a life that just may no longer resonate for you, and you have connected to a passion inside of yourself that says, I need to live that passion. There are feelings that come up that hold you in the place of the old. Because what that life is that you may not know is the unknown. And it may be bringing up feelings of not good enough, not perfect enough, not worthy enough. And there is a fear that comes up inside of you. That, dear ones, is the fear of the wounded little boy and the wounded little girl. The wounded 5-year-old that says, if in fact I release my old life and live my passion into the new life, will I die? Will I die? This keeps me alive and survives. Will I be alive in this new life? Thus, dear ones, if in fact you are in this place in your lifetime now, you can see that it is the feelings and the fears of the wounded little boy and little girl inside of you that is running that life. So the next step, dear one, is to identify your feelings. As we illustrate this scenario with this example, and you are in this place, look at your new life. Look at your passion. Have you discovered your passion? Are you in an old life that no longer resonates for you? Yet, because of your feelings of not good enough, not worthy enough, not perfect enough, and the fears that come up inside of you that are simply the fears of the wounded little boy and little girl looking to mom and dad outside of themselves to keep them alive, if you can see this and move through the process of moving into yourself to see your powerfulness, your greatness, that as you see the doorway to the pathway of the unknown open, that in the knowingness of your heart, when you connect to that passion, you're connecting to a part of your soul fragment's divine plan. And if in fact, dear ones, that you are living your divine plan, it is not your plan, but it is a divine plan, and you connect to the knowingness in your heart space, that when you connect to that part of your soul fragment's divine plan, you will move along and everything will transpire as it is supposed to in that divine plan. So as we give you this scenario and explain this scenario to you, if in fact you are at this juncture in your life, at these crossroads, at this intersection, and you see your old life, or anything that is transpiring old in your life, old relationships, you're in a relationship, yet frightened to move from that relationship, we ask you, dear one, to identify your feelings and connect with that wounded little child inside of you. For it is all about feelings, dear one. You're either doing something or not doing something to avoid a feeling. If in fact I release this old relationship, what feelings come up inside of you? What fears come up inside of you? What are you frightened of, dear ones? Are you frightened that you may die? You see, dear ones, it is most important that you now connect with your feelings. You see, dear one, many of you have had your feelings labeled for you. Good feelings or bad feelings. Positive feelings or negative feelings. You see, dear ones, those feelings have been labeled by mom and dad for you. For if in fact, dear ones, you are releasing duality within you, either or, good or bad, right or wrong, this or that, positive or negative, you can release the labels that have been placed upon your feelings of good or bad, positive or negative. Once again, dear ones, we bring you to the magical child, the wonder child, and the wounded child. The child only has feelings, dear one. Feelings are feelings, dear ones. They are what they are. You are having all your feelings simultaneously, dear ones. You avoid the feelings that you don't like. You avoid the feelings that have been labeled bad or negative. You avoid your feelings, dear one. So, we bring you back to the scenario of shifting from the old life to a new life. The unknown in relationship to the known. The unknown in relationship to your comfort zones. The unknown into the relationship that if in fact you shifted that relationship, you will be challenged and confronted with all the feelings that you have avoided. And if in fact you give yourself the permission to simply feel those feelings, you can then, if you so choose, make the choice to shift your life into the new. You see, dear ones, the wounded little child thinks that if they are feeling not good enough, they are not good enough. The wounded child thinks that if they are feeling not perfect enough, they are not perfect enough. The wounded little 5-year-old looks to mom and dad and says, "Mom, I am feeling this." And based upon where mom is in her process, conditions that 5-year-old right then and there. Well, that feeling is bad. The 5-year-old knows nothing else and believes mom and believes dad. Thus, the conditioning becomes reinforced based upon mom and dad's conditioning. So it is why we ask you to move within to the wounded child and ask them, what are you feeling? What do you need? So we ask you, dear ones, when you move to this place, these crossroads, this intersection, what are you feeling and what do you need? For it is you avoiding all of your feelings that will allow you to remain in your comfort zones that you may no longer like or resonate for you. But when you look to the new, the unknown, and shift and change your life, these feelings come up and move to a crescendo. As you move closer to the life you say you want, dear ones, the feelings will rise to an effervescent crescendo. It is then and only then, dear one, through the support and guidance of others and the teachings that we bring to you, that create the tools that you can use that will allow you to feel your feelings.